Hello, dear friends. Good evening. How was your day? Thank God today is Friday. I believe you're having a wonderful time out there. My name is Tavle Joshua, your facilitator for Peace and Sustainable Development, the 1 month professional diploma training organized by the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management. It's a free training that we are organizing for our followers on Facebook and YouTube. So if you are a follower and a subscriber on YouTube and you have not taken a free training with us, we have several of them lined up. Uh, this month is already going. Next month is going to also come peace and conflict management, and December we'll be looking at social justice and advocacy. So do wait to be part of what is happening here. As a follower of the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management, and as a lover of peace, it's good that you equip yourself with knowledge so that you can be able to promote peace in your community and in our larger society out there. So I welcome you, especially those of you that have identified with us and have been joining this journey for quite a long time now. We appreciate your commitment and your dedications. We thank you very much. For those of you that did your simulation presentation today, you can see the network is somehow better now compared to what it was. I was struggling to connect to coordinate the training, but you all did well, and we appreciate all of you. And we are going to also score you, give us your marks, then see how we can proceed to our exams when the presentation is over. Yeah, for those of you that are doing peace and sustainable development, you may not need simulation training. So therefore, just prepare by this weekend, by Sunday. I'll be sharing a manual with you so that you can start going through it, and let's see how you will be able to learn as fast as possible. Thank you very much for taking time to be part of today's training as well. And as usual, if you join us, you can do it to share the link with someone. I invite them to be part of what is happening here. Let them know that here they can take a training for free that will help transform their lives to some extent and help them to also start a career if possible, if that is their desire. And then um, for our next training that is coming up, we encourage you to share the link with someone, share the link with people, invite them to join the training as much as possible as you can. Uh, Let them register so they can be part of the training. I want to see over 1,000 people register for the training. So let's do something. Let's work together as a team to reach out to people to register for the training. Thank you very much as you do that, and God bless you. So today we are going to look at module 5 of peace and sustainable development. And in module 5, we're going to look at contemporary issues or challenges and future perspectives. Contemporary challenges and future perspectives in peace and sustainable development. All right. So this is what we're going to look at for today. So do we, Mr. Chumeka from Zambia, you are welcome. We appreciate you. Um, so contemporary challenges and future perspectives. The truth of the matter is that there are several challenges that confront peace and development in our world today. And well, we are looking at the future, and we are hopeful that the future is going to experience a different dimension in terms of peace, in terms of development. Do you understand? But right now, as we speak, there are several challenges that are confronting development and peace. Of course, we talk about the issue of Hurricane Milton that have just finished in America. The estimated cost of what has been lost so far is about 30 something billion dollars. Do you understand? Destroyed by wind and the rains that came in that country, and of course about $4 to $5 billion of those losses are not insured. Do you understand? So, and so these are some of the issues that we are facing. There's development. Development have taken place, but rain has come to destroy it. This is one of the challenges that we are facing. All right, natural disasters as a result of climate change, is causing a lot of devastation on development. Then we talk about conflicts uh, in the Middle East, conflict uh, in far Eastern Europe, like Russia, Ukraine. We talk about uh, conflict in West Africa. You see how Borno State in Nigeria, or the Northeast in Nigeria generally, was destroyed by Boko Haram activities, terrorism. We have also seen in Sudan what is happening there. We have seen in Ukraine what is happening there. We've seen what is happening in Middle East, massive destruction. See what is happening in Lebanon now, massive destruction as a result of war and conflicts. I get the point. So all of these are confronting development, all right? You see what happened in Gaza. Gaza has turned into a rubble. Do you understand? Because of conflict. Do you understand? Because of conflict. Massive destruction in Gaza. What was there to be considered as development has totally been destroyed. Do you understand? And their lives also destroyed. And we don't know when it's going to stop yet. Do you understand? So all of these things need to be addressed. All of these things need to be addressed. All of this needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. And so these are the global challenges that are confronting peace and development. So we are going to look at unit one of the module 5, which is global challenges to peace and development. Global challenges to peace and development. Like I have cited some, there are several challenges that confront development and, of course, of peace. The quest for peace and development on a global scale is increasingly hindered by a range of interconnected challenges. Yes, there are interconnected challenges that confront um, peace and development. These challenges not only threaten stability and prosperity, but also undermine the effort of nations and communities striving for sustainable peace or sustainable progress. You understand? So all the effort we are putting in place to make sure that there is peace in our world, to make sure that peace happen, is being, destroyed by some gruntful elements who say they are grief. Someone came to our group today and he was saying that why will he come and pay to get a certificate in peace when he is a warrior? Because this is against his belief and principle. Like him is believe in battlefield, not. And I will ask you, why are you in our group if you believe in battlefield? Why are you here? Do you understand? In the first place. So, and then he exited the group. Do you understand? So, but these are challenges. We have people who just believe in conflict. There are people that live and survive on conflict. Do you understand? The more the trouble, the more the richer they become. Do you understand? So such kind of people who want trouble to continue so that they will continue to get richer and richer. Do you understand? But the end is not always good. So, but these are the challenges that are confronting our world, and these challenges are interconnected. Do you understand? They are interconnected. All right. So let's look at one of those challenges: conflict and violence. Like I cited some of them: conflict in the Middle East, conflict in Sudan, conflict in South Sudan, conflict in Nigeria, conflict between Russia and Ukraine, conflict in Myanmar, conflict in Congo, conflict in Central African Republic, conflict mentioned in so many places in the world. And all of these are threatening our common existence. All right. So armed conflicts, civil wars, and terrorism continue to display millions and create humanitarian crises, like what is happening in Gaza now, what is happening in Lebanon now. Should Israel and Iran engage in a full-fledged war, you know what that situation will look like. All right. So it's not going to be funny at all. It's not going to be funny, not at all, not at all. So there is conflict and violence. So we have it happening around our communities. In our country here in Nigeria, we have it at different levels. All right, conflict going on at different levels. So these are the issues. And then we have climate change. climate change. Hurricane meeting that just took place in America, you know what has happened. I have just mentioned it to you. You know, over 30 something $1 billion losses, worth of losses, you know, is happening there. So it's a challenge. All right. So environmental degradation, extreme weather, extreme weather conditions or events, and resource scarcity exacerbate existing tension because when water uh, in the desert dried off, the headers migrate and then it becomes a problem. So scarcity of resources, be it material resources, be it financial resources, be it natural resources, all of these can contribute to facilitating tension and of course inequalities. So climate change disproportionately affects vulnerable populations, leading to potential conflict over dwindling resources. So we say, oh, where is money? There's no money because of so many other activities that are going on. And when money comes, some of these monies are being channeled towards addressing some of the disasters that happen as a result of climate change. Do you understand? So all of these are a factor to be considered. Do you understand? So that is it. So we talk about disinformation and misinformation. Disinformation and misinformation, right? So the rise of digital communication has facilitated the spread of false information, which can incite violence, all right, and polarize societies and undermine trust in institutions, complicating peace building efforts. So people are giving wrong information. People always give wrong information because the process of communication, when the message is released, it must be it must be received. But in between the you know the giver of the message and the receiver of the message, that's what we call distortion. Do you understand? So information are being distorted. And once they are distorted, it means that the original message is not being conveyed. And once the original message is not being delivered, what do you expect? Misinformation. All right. And then, of course, disinformation. And this can lead to conflict. Geopolitical tension. Geopolitical tension, there's rivalries among major powers like territorial disputes and nationalistic movements create instability and can lead to armed conflict impacting global cooperation. Yes, this, the caliphate movement that Boko Haram championed to some point, unless it took us over 10 years to address. Do you understand? And it caused a lot of devastation, massive destructions. Do you understand? Infrastructural destructions, human lives destroyed, and several other agricultural, you know, potentials were destroyed because of the activities of Boko Haram. All right. So some of these things are their geographical, geopolitical tension. All right. So what is happening between Russia in Ukraine now? Oh no, between in South Sudan or in Sudan rather, and even in South Sudan is leadership puzzle. Do you understand? So this kind of tension, power struggle, struggle for power has caused a lot of problem, right? So these are some of the health crisis, pandemics, and public health emergencies can devastate economies, disrupt social services, and exacerbate inequality, making population more vulnerable to conflict and instability. Someone will ask, how does health crisis, causes conflict? It's much. It's a high level of potency for it to cause crisis because when people do not get access to healthcare facilities or services they need, you know, it causes problem. And when pandemic comes, It disrupt service provision, and of course, this can affect service delivery and it can cause problems. Do you understand? So migration and displacement is another uh, issue that we're considering under global challenges to peace and sustainable development. So migration and displacement, forced migration due to conflict. Many people that were in Maiduguri or in the northeast, some of them moved to Abuja, some moved to other neighboring states, and they are there. They don't want to even go back. Some of them, all right. So these are the issues. So these things are there. So migration and displacement. Some people being displaced and they're taking refuge outside of their home country. Some are in Niger, some are in Chad, some are in Cameroon. Do you understand? As a result of the activities of Boko Haram. So migration is taking place. Some migrated to other uh, countries, the world, right? So these are some of the global challenges that are confronting peace and development. Let's recap them. We mentioned conflict and violence. We mentioned climate change. We mentioned inequalities. We mentioned what? Disinformation and misinformation, geopolitical tension, health crisis, and you know migration and displacement. Migration and displacement. All of these causes um, are confronting, are challenged to conflict, to peace and development, because in the course of people trying to migrate, they can cause trouble. All right. So let's look at geopolitical tension and conflict. Geopolitical tension and conflict. Geopolitical tensions arise from the strategic interests of nations and can lead to conflict that disrupt regional and global stability. What is happening in Russia or between Russia and Ukraine is affecting the globe. Do you understand? In terms of food supply chain. And of course, then other regional destabilization that was happening in the Middle East is still happening. What's happening in the West Africa? All of these are elements of geopolitical tension and you know and conflict. And they affect peace, they affect development. Do you understand? So let's look at some good example in this geopolitical tension and conflict. One is Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine and Russia, the annexation of Crimea by Russia in 2014 and the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine exemplify modern geographical tensions. The situation has led to significant military confrontations, economic sanctions against Russia, and humanitarian crisis affecting a regional security and international relations. So these are some of the issues. So the conflict between Russia and Ukraine is having devastating impact on the economy of the world generally. Because Ukraine was one of the largest supplier of grains, but so far as the since the conflict started, they have not been in the business of agriculture. Do you understand? So why will you go and farm and then tomorrow it's destroyed? So some of these considerations are there. Then let's look at South China Sea. South China Sea. The South China Sea is a critical marine region with competing territorial claims from China, Vietnam, the, the Philippines, and other South Asian nations. China's assertive action in building military installations on artificial islands have escalated tension, leading to confrontation with the United States and its allies who advocate for freedom of navigation in international waters. So these are the issues. Do you understand? So these things are causing problem. You know, some of these things during Trump administration we see much of these things being debated and discussed. You know, uh, during the Biden administration, what we're seeing there is subtlety because they are not really trying to address anything yet. So these are some of the so South China Sea is also a threat to peace. Then we'll talk about the Middle East conflict. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a long-standing geopolitical issue marked by territorial disputes, cultural and religious tensions, and historical grievances. The struggle over land and national identity, the struggle over land and what? National identity continues to fuel violence and instability in the region, impacting peace, you know, effort and broader geographical dynamics. So this is what's happening in the Middle East. The conflict that you're seeing there, it has been a protracted conflict. For over 70 years, Israel has been fighting with Palestine. You understand? And I don't want to dive too much into the history of that conflict. Maybe one of these days we'll be dropping a documentary on our page so that you can see it. But I don't want to go deep into it. Maybe the person working on the documentary will drop something very concrete for you to understand how it was started and where we are today. Do you understand? So it will give you knowledge to see into it. So India and Pakistan have been brothers for a while now, but they have been having tension, most especially in the area of Kashmir region, because that area has been a very troubled region because of its border areas between uh, Pakistan and India. You understand? So they always have a problem. But it's one of the challenges uh, that are confronting global peace and global humanitarianism. So all of these things are challenges, and of course, sustainable development. So U.S.-China relations. You see, during U.S. and China have been cat and dog for a while now, to a point that China is now forming allies with Russia, which so Russia also having problem with America and all of that, and then Russia having a relationship with North Korea, which also in turn have problem with US and all of that. Do you understand? So US-China relations has not been so good. Yes, has not been so good. Has been it's characterized with a lot of things, tension and all the activities. So the growing economic and military rivalry between the United States and China has heightened geopolitical tensions, dispute over trade practices, human rights issues, and military presence in the Asia Pacific region contribute to a complex relationship that impacts global governance. So, guys, I'll look at North Korea. North Korea nuclear ambition and missile tests have raised significant concern because they are always dropping ballistic missiles, doing a lot of, you know, air space launching and so many other activities. And this has not been too good with their brothers in the South, and of course, even America, because I hear King Jong Song saying that he can fire a ballistic missile into America. Do you understand? And so many other stuff. So it has been an issue of cat and dog even in the relationship between North Korea and the institute. You understand? We have Russia and NATO, right? The expansion of NATO in Eastern Europe has been viewed by Russia as a threat to its sphere of influence, contributing to tension between Russia and Western nations. This dynamic this dynamic has implications for military alliances and regional uh, security. So that's what it is. So NATO and NATO and America, NATO and America has been on 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 a, on the issue, you know, most especially when Ukraine made effort to be part of NATO, which was not comfortable for Russia because Russia believed that having NATO or member countries in that region to be in their this thing in their backyard is not too good for them, and so they will not tolerate that. It's a threat to their own uh, territory, so they want to control their own area. You understand? And so Ukraine was trying to move quickly to join NATO, and of course, Russia was not willing to take that because once Ukraine become a member of NATO, the implication is that US, UK, all of them, France, they will come and have a military base in Ukraine close to their to their country and we will be monitoring them. So they don't want such a thing. Do you understand? So that's why it is. So all of these are some of the examples of uh, global tension that is going on in and around the world. So and this affecting, all right, it's affecting peace and development. You see how the conflict between Russia and Ukraine has affected the system so badly. A lot of destruction going on, a lot of people died, a lot of people displaced, and these things are going on. As I'm speaking with you, they are still going on. So as I'm speaking with you now, the war in the Middle East is going on, Lebanon and all of that. You understand? So sometimes innocent people end up suffering, while those who create this problem continue to enjoy our flourish. Most of the leaders of Hamas are not in Palestine. Most of them are not in Palestine. Palestine. They are not there. Some of them were staying in the Qatar. Some of them were staying in the other countries. So these are the global challenges, and these are just some of the few examples that we mentioned. We didn't mention the one in Sudan. We didn't mention the one in South Sudan. Civil war, conflict over leadership positions, and all of that. And problem, the conflict in Congo over gold mining, all of those. The diamond and the gold mining in Zamfara state is also a problem. You understand? And of course, we have people that are there to be held accountable for some of these crises. So let's look at another one, which is migration, displacement, and refugees. Migration, displacement, and refugees. So, you know, when there are climate issues, climate change issues, when there are conflicting issues, when there's armed conflict in a particular place, people migrate. Nobody wants to stay around, behind or behind to be killed. So you move so that they will identify that those that are, staying, maybe they have their reason to stay, or they can also be investigated. Do you understand? So, but migration is happen as a result of maybe a natural disaster or man-made disasters. Do you understand? So displacement, the same thing. People move and are being displaced or take refugees in other countries. When we talk about internally displaced persons, these are people that are being affected in conflict and or by natural disasters, and they are within their country. That's why they are called internally displaced persons. We call them IDPs. And then we have the refugees. The refugees are those that step outside of their country's border. You understand? Once you move to Niger, Cameroon, to Chad, automatically you are a refugee there. Do you understand? you are a refugee there. So migration, displacement, and the plight of refugees are critical. They are critical what issues to be considered, where millions of people worldwide are being impacted. So this phenomenon can result from various factors, including conflict, persecution. When people are persecuted, they move. Environmental changes. When natural disasters come, people move. And economic instability. Right. So all of these can affect the peace of a region and the development of that region. Forced migration and refugee. Let's look at some of these things. Forced migration and what? Refugee. Forced migration occurs when individuals are compelled to leave. All right. You leave your home due to threats to safety. Do you understand? So they have to move. This often leads to what? The creation of refugee, people who flee across borders in search of protection. So once you step out of the shores of Nigeria, and you step into another country, what you have just become, you have become a refugee, right? So look at Syrian civil war. A lot of people travel. Some went to Turkey, some went to other countries. Do you understand? Massive, massive, massive people. Some went to Turkey, some went to Lebanon, some went to Jordan, right? While millions more have been internally displaced. So that's what it means. It's one of the examples, the Syrian war, civil war. All right. So let's look at the internally displaced person. Internally displaced persons are individuals forced to flee their homes but remain within their country's border. They often face similar challenges as refugees, including lack of security, basic services, and access to assistance. You know. So for us, we have so many IDPs in our country. I don't know about your country anyway, but for us in Nigeria here, we have so many IDPs, and people are staying there as a result of conflict. Right? We thank God we don't have natural disasters like that. Most of the disasters we have are man-made disasters. All right. So example is Venezuela. Economic collapse, political instability, and violence in Venezuela have led to an estimated 7 million people fleeing the country since 2014. However, many others remain displaced within Venezuela, facing dire conditions, food shortages, and lack of healthcare. So these are some of the challenges or some of the consequences that accompany violence and other negative behaviors. Do you understand? So displace people, send people into refugees, and all of that. And it becomes challenging to handle life. So displacement, environmental displacement. Environmental factors, including natural disasters and climate change, can also force people to migrate. Do you understand? Of course, in advanced countries where such disasters are being predicted, people are being evacuated before they occur. Do you understand? So um, the loss of lives is always reduced and minimized. So these are some of the issues. So nevertheless, climate change and the Pacific Iceland, all of these are seas that are rising up. You understand? And of course, they must be addressed. Economic migration, people moving as a result of economic activities to seek jobs, to seek several support that will help them to engage productively. So Central American migrants, many individuals from countries like Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador migrate to the United States in search of safety and economic opportunities, and of course, some in several other countries. All right. So, asylum seekers, asylum seekers, asylum seekers are individuals who flee their countries and seek protection in another country, whether because these things may happen as a result of being persecuted. So, when you are persecuted, you can seek for refuge somewhere. You understand? So, asylum seekers. So, following the Taliban's return to power in Afghanistan in 2021, many Afghans, particularly those who had worked with foreign governments or NGOs, sought asylum abroad due to fear of persecution. And of course, you have to. So, migration, displacement, and the refugee crisis are critical issues that require coordinated global responses. We have at the United Nations, we have institutions that are responsible for humanitarian and affairs. Apart from the fact that we have other departments that handle food supplies, like the World Food Programs, and they handle. Then we have other ones that are on the mission, the peacekeeping missions. Do you understand? Several others are out there doing something, protect the people, take them out of harm's way. You understand? So that's some of the things. So we are going to look at extremism, terrorism, and cybersecurity. Extremism, terrorism, and cybersecurity. And of course, this is going to be our last topic for today. So if I have not shared this meeting with someone, share it. And today we are going to finish in time. You see, we're going to finish before time. Mm. So extremism, terrorism, and cybersecurity. For those of us that were here in 2019 or 2009 rather, 2009, at the you know intensity of Boko Haram operation, I think at that time, if they ask you to go to Meduguri, you say, calm down, calm down, calm down, just calm down. Transfer, some people that even when they are on transfer, as official transfer, they run for their lives. They seem to have said it's only when you are alive that you can walk. You cannot walk when you are there. So that's what some people left. Some even resign from the military. Some resign from police. Some resign from other military institutions simply because we're posted in the north to the northeast. You understand? Extremism, extremism. Extremism. Let me give you one illustration. You carry somebody in the name of something that you believe in, and then you slaughter the person. You slaughter. You're slaughtering human being like goat. Extreme activity. So terrorism. In Abuja here, Nyanyan Bridge. I hope many of us remember that experience. Bang, 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 bang. Cool. Lot of people, lot of destruction. So extremism refers to ideologies or beliefs that advocate for, you know, radical changes to society. You just come now, you don't want this, you don't want this belief system, you want to change it. So religious extremism are there, traditional extremism are there. So groups like ISIS, Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, all right, and Al-Qaeda, and Al-Qaeda have promoted violent interpretation of Islam. So all of this has been a problem, right? And they are constituting global threat, peace. Terrorism involves uh, violence or threat to intimidate or coerce someone or society, often for political or ideological purpose. It can be perpetrated by individuals, groups, or states. So terrorism is one of the biggest challenges that the world is being confronted. Aircraft hijack, the 9/11 in the US. Also, most have not forgotten that experience. All right, in 2010, I think 2011. For example, the September attacks, that is the 2001 attacks by Al-Qaeda on the United States, which resulted in nearly 3,000 deaths, among the notable examples of terrorist acts. So, extremism, terrorism are some of the challenges that are confronting global peace and and development. So, let's look at domestic terrorism. I'm not saying so the one that they hijack a plane to go and hit the Pentagon. Those ones is different. This one is not a domestic terrorism. That's international terrorism. So, but we have what we call domestic terrorism. Domestic terrorism refers to acts of violence committed by individuals or groups against their own country, like Boko Haram, like the bandits. Example, the Capitol riot. So, the attack on the US Capitol by supporters of the President Donald Trump, where by false claims of electoral fraud, is considered an act of domestic terrorism. Right? So remember what happened. So cybersecurity and extremism. Yahoo Yahoo, right? Mhm. Those guys, I will call them Yahoo Yahoo. 24 hours online, breaking into people's personal affairs. So domestic terrorism must be addressed. Cybersecurity and extremism. The rise of internet and digital technology has transformed how extremist groups operate, recruit, and carry out attacks. Cybersecurity has become a crucial area of focus in combating the threat. So this is what it is. Cybersecurity. You sit, somebody is calling you. Oh, we are going to IGPC. They are going to have meeting by 7, and please we have sent you a code and call it back to us or type and send it. Before you know it, your WhatsApp is hacked. So example, online radicalization. Extremist group utilizes social media platforms to spread propaganda, recruit members, and coordinate activities. You understand? For example, ISIS. especially use platforms like Twitter and Telegram, all right, to disseminate information and messages. So all of these are some of the challenges that are confronting us. Do you understand? So cyber terrorism. Cyber terrorism involves using digital attacks to intimidate or coerce society or government, often targeting critical infrastructures. Yeah. Kuje, Prison Break, you know, and several others like that. All of these are continual threats to peace and development. Example is the colonial pipelines ransomware attack in 2021. The cyber attack by a criminal group, DarkSide, disrupted the colonial pipeline in the US, leading to fuel shortages and panic buying. So all of this can cause devastating challenges. So government responses and challenges. Government globally, Governments globally are what grappling with the challenges posed by extremism, terrorism, but in our country here, we can integrate them. Yes, there's a place for integration when the combatants are being rehabilitated. They can be integrated. Do you understand? So that they can still be productive. But don't rush the integration process. Let them undergo certain training and be empowered for trying to become a member. So when someone just say I'm a repentant Boko Haram, then you say, oh, recruit them and put them into army. It's going to be very, and that's why I can say to some extent that dealing with the issue of Boko Haram was a little bit challenging, and even out till now. Why? Because there are some elements that are still romancing and they are in enemy. You have an operation to carry out, information is already leaked. You understand? So global terrorism is a problem. Cyber security terrorism is a problem. And these are threats to peace and development globally. Do you understand? These are threats to peace and you know development globally. I hope you people are learning something, and I hope you are getting something. So, do we have any question? Otherwise, I think today's class is the most shortest class ever since we started organizing this training. So, any question? Otherwise, we have come to the end of the class today. Any question? So, I just have one announcement to make. I know you are in the group where the link for the next training is being shared. Please do wait to share the link with at least 10 contacts. I encourage them to apply. That is free, right? Motivate them, let them apply. I'm a part of that training. We want to reach out to many people. Please help us to do that. Yes, we don't want to see only 30 people connecting for live training. We want to see thousands. So help us to reach out to people, let them participate in the forthcoming training, and then get a certificate so that we know that we issue 1,000 certificates, so that we know that we have reached out to 1,000 people, and then this 1,000 may in their own way be contributing to peace in their communities, and then before you know it, the impact will be massive. So do wait to share that link let people register for it. Any question? All right, somebody's asking a question here. Why is it that the government has not been able to end Boko Haram? Ah, well, there are several factors that may be attributed to that. And I'm saying this, if you're a military officer here, don't be offended. If you're a personnel officer in this training, don't be offended. There may be several reasons. And one of those reasons may be lack of political will on the side of government, and then that may be causing the problem. Another thing is uh, the corruption in the system, in the defense system, because the defense system is being corrupted, right? So if you see the Ministry of Defense has the highest budget, or about 1 trillion above. You understand? Or where is the money going to? Every day the police are complaining we don't have guns, don't have security of this and that. So do you understand? So all of this can be challenged. And then of course some of these people in the military may also be romancing, or in the not that is in the armed forces, let me put it that way, in the armed forces or in the paramilitary and military, may be romancing with some of these people. They may hold the belief they hold. You understand? But they are workers, they are in the government. So whenever there's a step to attack, they may leak the information. So I don't know what I have. So with this, it will be very difficult for you to end Boko Haram. All right. But government made some efforts when they start blocking the channels of sponsorship, and then they become stranded. Do you understand? So these are the issues. But to end Boko Haram, it may not be as quick as we're expecting. But government has made tremendous effort towards settling the issue of Boko Haram. So somebody's asking a question here. Please, I'm having a network issue, so I may not be able to attend to your questions. So, well, if those are the person is asking a question concerning um the issue of whether this certificate can lead someone to get NC, HND, or is just totally up to the admitting institution. If they agree to accept the certificate, they will accept it. But this is a professional certification, and it's to help you to for professional work expectation or requirement for improvement in your working place. Do you understand? To help you to for promotion, for knowledge, or competence. It's just competence kind of training. So it's not necessarily an academic diploma. Do you understand? So take note of that. But there are universities that may accept it. So you can make your findings. But by and large, the originality and the intent of the training is for competence, for professionalism, not for academic quotation. So night rest. We see you tomorrow by 7 p.m. And for those that are doing simulation, we'll see by afternoon tomorrow. Thank you very much. Bye.